No,
were in
just the
the
whole, like the Beanie Babies, the We Buy Gold,
yeah,
the real estate.
I just got,
What were the issues you were dealing with when this was happening? It made it sound super smooth, super easy, but
oh,
there
I
must
mean,
have been some
yeah,
times when things blew up as well, right?
always. Yeah. So I'm only telling you about the successful things I've done. So I've done 10 times more stuff than I'm telling you. And I would say 80% of what I've done failed.
Right.
Literally failed. I lost all my money on. However, this is the thing. I will try 10 things. And the two things that do unbelievable, I make all the money, right? I'll make millions of dollars, tens of millions of dollars, even $100 million. The things that don't do good, I cut my losses at 10,000, 50,000, you know? So I could lose $50,000 8 times. So I'm down 400,000, but I make, that $10 million one time. So, or, between two things, I'll make 10 million. So maybe I'll make 10 million and I'll lose 50,000, whatever it is. That's a pretty good trade-off, or a couple 100,000. So it's basically knowing when to hold it and knowing when to get rid of it, right? So
Talk about that. How do you know?
so you try stuff, and I still do this to today. I bought tons of shopping centers. So I own a lot of shopping centers in Atlanta that are retail, and I have a lot of businesses in them. And I bought them just because I don't want to have to keep getting leases and trying stuff and it doesn't work. So I have this whole strategy of how I start all these really hot niche businesses that don't really exist that make crazy amounts of money really fast. Some of these behind me, Bury the Hatchet, the axe throwing. I have 16 locations. I'm about to have 17 locations next week. That's a business that I built out for 250,000 a location, and my good locations are making over 100, 150,000 a year in profit. So I get a payback in a year to 2 years on a lot of these. And when I first started opening Bury the Hatches, I was spending 100,000 building them out, but they were making so much, I started making them nicer, bigger. So then I have Putt Nation over here. That's a indoor putt place that has a full kitchen and bar. I do good with.
So how are you able to do so much stuff at once? Is it that do you have COOs in just all of these? You just
Yeah.
have managers right off the hop? Or
Yeah.
like, how does that?
I own none of these businesses by myself. The ones we're talking about. I have some businesses I own by myself, but 95% of my businesses I have partners. Sometimes I have one partner. A lot of them I have 2 or 3 partners, and we all do different stuff. So my role in every company is to find the hot thing, research it, to negotiate pricing on if I'm buying somebody else's business, structure them. Same with real estate. I'm the one that underwrites everything. I'm the one that people send all the deals to me. I'm the face. Everybody knows me. Nobody knows my partners. Just Pace and Cody. Everybody knows who Pace is. Not many people know who Cody is. But Pace and Cody's do half and half. Without Cody, Pace would never be able to do most of the real estate stuff he does because you need that other person. So same with me. I couldn't do any of these businesses without my partner. They would fall apart. So I'm the one that does all the front end stuff, and I'm talking, negotiating. I'm very outgoing with people. And then once I buy these businesses or buy these properties, I hand them off to my other partner, and he's the one that does the rehab and then sells it and does the bookkeeping and the accounting. Or with the businesses, I have a partner that does all the operations. And a lot of times, they're not really in the stores working themselves, but they're in charge of all the managers. And I have district managers, I have regional managers, I have location managers, and all the stuff for every location I have. Sipping plant I have here is a arts and crafts studio, so I have some of those. This deal maker weekend here, that's the events that I do now a few times a year where I teach people how to buy these businesses. Everything I'm doing that I'm telling you about, I teach people how to do this. And there are 200 people that come to an event. I sell out every single time. This is the one that Pace is now at with me. So Pace speaks at these events a lot as well. And we just teach people how to be creative, how to structure deals. And Carl Allen is my partner in this as well. And he's been in the buying business game longer than anyone. I've actually bought his program and learned a lot from him. And then again, we became partners because, we bring each other value and, there's different things that we help each other with. But I have, Launchpad is my real estate company. I have Team Octopus has a whole bunch of gyms. I have this content lab over here.
So let's talk a little bit about partnerships. Because
I have hundreds of businesses all over my wall. My wall is full of businesses.
I believe you. So let's talk about partnerships real quick, because obviously to be able to have hundreds of businesses, you have to have partners in every single one.
Yeah.
What do you look for in a partner? When you're thinking, okay, this would be cool to do, what do you do? Or you see a business you would buy, what do you do first in terms of finding someone who would manage it or finding partners who would be able to make it work?
Yeah, so I find a partner that's good at the things I'm not good at, or at least enjoys the things I don't enjoy. So I only do what I enjoy. I wake up every morning, or I go to bed every night. Can't wait to wake up, because I know next day I'm going to do more deals. I'm going to have fun. Like, this is fun. It's not work, right? So if I had to do the integrator stuff, I would never want to wake up. I'd be like, fuck this, I'm staying in. But I find a partner that is good at or enjoys the stuff I don't enjoy. So all my partners are integrators. They're operation people. None of them are creative or, visionaries. I'm the visionary. I'm the creative guy. So you got to find, if you're an integrator, you got to find your visionary. If you're a visionary, you got to find your integrator. And you got to find the people to work with that are good at the things you're not good at, or enjoy them. So that's what I do. So first off, I find what I need, right? I don't need someone to do what I'm doing, because I'm doing it. I enjoy it. I want to do it. I don't want anyone else to do it. Sometimes it's fun having a little bit of help, but I still want to be the one that, mainly does it. And then I look for someone that's really trustworthy. That's probably super important. So I don't just partner with people I don't really know. Most of my partners I've known for a long time. And once I have one business with someone and it does good, I try to get them involved in all my other businesses. Now, since I've been doing these masterminds, I started doing them in 2020. I have a lot of partners that have came to these masterminds that learned this stuff from me, and we became friends. And I partner with a lot of them. So I'm partners with a lot of people that came, and a lot of people in Sub 2 that have come to these events. And I'm partners with a lot of people in Sub 2 on different businesses now that have come to the events over the years, and just other people. But I find like-minded people that have the same type of goals, the same visions, and people that I get along with, that we click together with, and that are good at something I'm not good at. That's pretty much, the most important stuff. Obviously, you can get more into it, but if you need the most important stuff, that's it.
And then what do you do? What you said, some of them you own by yourself. What do you do for those ones? Do you just hire a COO, or how does that work?
So the ones I own by myself, I spend the most time on, because there's not other people that can do it. But the ones I own by myself, I loan a lot of money out. So I probably have $10 million out right now in loans to people that are doing fix and flips. I do a lot of transactional lending. If people need to double close on properties, I do a lot of that. So that's kind of what I do myself right now. And I'm the one that's actually wiring all the money and doing all that stuff. So most of my day is managing the loans and underwriting new deals. So I'm getting deals all the time. And that's what I do all day. I just underwrite them. I say, okay, I want to buy it, or I don't want to buy it. And then I'm going after new businesses and trying to buy businesses. I have a few businesses I'm in the process of buying right now too. And that's what I do. So it's but most of my businesses now I have partners, but it's the loaning business is pretty much the only thing I do by myself now. And there's even the other, so this deal maker weekend, I used to do this by myself. In 2020, 21, 22, I was the only one that did this. It was just me. And I hired a few people. I have people in my office that are assistants. I have people that are different, they're called different things, but they do, the stuff that we need. So if I don't have a partner, I have some really high level people that are really smart that can do these types of things. But now Deal Maker Weekend is actually, I'm partners with Carl and Pace. So I have partners even in that now. But a lot of these ones that I didn't have partners with, I'm getting partners on just to make it easier or funner. When I was doing these events by myself, it was fun, but I was the one speaking the whole time, doing everything. Now with partners, I can speak, half the time or less, and I have more fun. I get to listen to them. I learn stuff, and we just, so it's just more fun.
Gotcha. Cool. Because it's interesting, because I've heard, this is just because this is my personal dilemma that I've been going back and forth, is finding an integrator for my business versus hiring a COO is why I'm asking you about it. But it seems you're definitely pro partnership versus just hiring a COO to manage it. It seems much better of an option for you. I'm
very pro partners, but I'll tell you this. Half the people out there won't work well with partners. So half the people shouldn't get partners. Half the people should definitely get partners. There's not really a wrong or right. It's your personality. Some people that want to be in charge of everything, control everything, and want everything to be their way, they probably shouldn't have partners. I am I give into just about everything. So this is a very important key to my life, or anyone's life if they're smart. If you are dealing with your partner, you're dealing with your wife, you're dealing with whoever the fuck you're dealing with, doesn't matter who it is in the world. Everybody wants to feel like they won, So I give in to everybody and I let them feel they won. And for instance, with my partners, or even with my wife, she'll tell me 10 things, that she wants, and I'll tell her 10 things that I want. And ultimately, I'll probably give in eight out of 10 times, and I'll do what they want. But because 8 out of 10 times, or sometimes even 9 out of 10 times, that thing that I give into is not that important, because it's minorly, very minorly, I want it my way. It's very close. There's a few things that I really, really adamantly want my way. And that's 1 out of 10 times, 2 out of 10 times. Those are the things I make sure I get. And the reason why I always get those is because I give in 8 or 9 out of 10 times, so I can get that 1 or 2 times. So that's really, really important. You got to know how to give in and let somebody do what they. Now, it might not be the right thing, right? Your thing might be better those 8 times, but it's not that big of a deal. If they fuck it up, it's not going to be that big of a fuck up. The 1 or 2, those are the ones that are really going to fuck it up. You got to make sure those are your way. And the way to get that every single time is to give in on the ones that aren't as important. And I do that with every aspect of my life.
Gotcha. So interesting. Yeah. I mean, I just hear different philosophies on it. So it's interesting because I know right now what's holding me back in my business is nobody's, I'm a visionary. I'm very fully visionary. I can operate, but I don't doing it. It slows me down. Right. Mm-hmm. So for the lending, do you just do it by yourself just because it's easy, right? You just give out your money and then receive it. It's
easy, and I use my own money, and I do it myself because I'm wiring a significant amount of money every day to people. And that's something that if somebody fucks up, it could be bad. But I mean, I could find someone to do it. It just doesn't take enough of my time, and I have that extra time, so I just do it because it's easy. I do it right on my computer, so it's not it's not have to go out and do stuff. It's really easy. Gotcha. And right now I spend a lot of my time making content. So Pace has been bugging me for over a year to start a YouTube channel and start doing a lot more content. So 10 months ago I started a YouTube channel. It's just my name, Abraham Gray. And I've been putting out 2 videos a week ever since I started 10 months ago. Mm-hmm. And I've grown that from 0 to I have 15 or 16,000 subscribers now. And,
nice.
And, my goal is to get, to as high as I can. So I spend a lot of time on that. That's kind of fun. I make videos on how to do better in business, how to do better in real estate, how to do better in life, building rapport, things I did wrong. I do a lot of funny videos too. So most of the stuff I do is funny to some degree. I try to add comedy to everything.
I love it. So what are your goals, man? Where are you trying to go? I mean, you've already hit crazy numbers already. I mean, 10 million 20 years ago. Where are you trying to go? What are you trying to achieve? What are you trying to do?
There's not a money amount, because the money is not that big of a deal now. But my goal is to always better myself to some degree. Because if you're not bettering yourself a little bit, you kind of feel your self-esteem goes to shit, because you got to feel you're progressing or doing something. So I'm always trying to do stuff. That's why I don't just, I'm going to stay home all day or go on the beach all day, because then you just feel a loser. So I always want to feel like I'm progressing some. People are always at my office. I have people I'm helping all the time. So it's fun helping all these people. That's one of the reasons why I do these events. And I could see, lots of people at these events that make millions of dollars after they leave by just implementing some of the stuff that I show them. So that's pretty cool. But ultimately, the most important thing is to have fun, enjoy life, and be healthy. That's really what matters. So I do what I do because it's so fun and I enjoy it. I mean, I love, buying businesses and negotiating with people and, getting the deal done, and buying properties and seeing them go from a shit property to a nice property, seeing someone buy it, living in there and having a nice place. It's just fun, talking with people is fun. That's why I get on, different podcasts and I speak at different events. It's fun. You meet new people, and that opens up more opportunities for you in the future. Every single time I'm on a podcast, every time I speak at an event, I do deals with people. People will reach out to me. I'll reach out to other people, and you get to see the progression of other people, and it's really cool. But ultimately, yeah, you got to enjoy life. You got to be happy. So that's really what life's about, and that's what my goals are every day. Just progress and be happy and feel good.
Gotcha. So let's talk about what you're famous for. Buying businesses, right? I feel that's the thing you're most famous for in the sub 2 community, especially. Yeah.
So proof of funds. I'm a proof of funds guy.
Well, yeah, that too. I mean, obviously proof of funds too. But what about, how did you learn about buying businesses, and how did you buy your first one you started?
Yeah. So it was, I learned just by doing it. I didn't really have anyone teach me. So I started my first business with baseball cards, and I did that for a while. I saved and made a lot of money. So now I had some money to do other stuff. So from baseball cards, when I was in the baseball card business, there were a lot of other dealers and other people that had their business, and I would just buy them out. So I started buying other people's businesses, buying their collections, buying their booths, buying their stores, and I got good at it. So that's where it started, me buying other people's stuff. But then when I got into Beanie Babies, which is right from baseball cards to Beanie Babies, I eventually started a website and started selling Beanie Babies online because there was so much money. I was already doing it on eBay. I was already doing these shows. So I started a website and starting selling on a website. And then what happened was I became one of the top 5 Beanie Baby websites, pretty fast that existed. And I was, you know what? The easiest way to grow, because I was spending a lot of money in advertising, the easiest way to grow is just buy another really good Beanie Baby website. And that's what I went after. I became really friendly with all the people that had the top 5 Beanie Baby websites. And eventually I worked a deal with one of them to buy their website. And at this time I was probably like the number 3 or number 2 Beanie Baby website. And this guy was the opposite, number 2 or 3. And we worked a deal. I was able to buy this guy's website for $600,000. And that was the biggest purchase I made up to that time. I was in my early to mid 20s. And I bought this business from this guy for $600,000. And I was, look, I don't want to spend $600,000 all up front. So I bought it creatively. I was like, look, can I give you $100,000 up front and, the rest over 5 years or whatever it was. And, that's not exactly the conversation, but we went back and forth and we agreed on basically something like that. So I bought his business and I was double or triple profit from from his business that I was paying him every month. So maybe I was paying him, I'm making these numbers up, but maybe I was paying him $4,000 a month and I was making him $10,000 a month. So I had a $6,000 profit every single month after I paid him. And I was like, holy shit, after I did this deal, I was like, man, I need to start buying other people's businesses because it's so hard to start a business and to get it going and make so much money. You can just buy these people's businesses and have it already making money, because I was able to look at his numbers. I knew what he was doing and I knew everything about his business, and anything I didn't know, he taught me. And I went from buying his a year later to buying the number 1 Beanie Baby website. So I owned the number 1, 2, and 3 Beanie Baby website. And I was just making crazy money because I kept them all separate. So people didn't know I owned all 3. So people would shop and whatever, and I would change the prices on whatever, but I was getting almost all the business and the retail business. And then, basically from then on, any business I got into, my favorite thing to buy are competitors. So I call them bolt-ons. Once you own a business and you could buy a competitor or someone that's in the same type of industry, you could infinitely grow your business or infinitely make so much more money because you already know the business and you're just, able to sell. What I was able to do, there was stuff that my website sold that his website didn't sell and vice versa. So I was able now to add the stuff that I saw on my website to his website, which made him sell so much more and vice versa. And I was able to buy stuff cheaper because I was able to buy it in bigger quantities. I was able to now share employees. So all the employees he had, I didn't need because my employees were already there in place and they were just able to run both. So I was able to save lots of money. I didn't have to pay rent on 2 warehouses. I moved everything into 1 warehouse. So I saved money on so many different things, and I boosted up my sales so much. So it's just exponentially, you make so much more money when you were doing that. And I realized that. So ever since then, I've just been buying whatever business I'm in. I just buy out competitors, and you just make so much more money that way. That's kind of how I did it. I just learned on my own, and then eventually, I'd look at YouTube videos, but there's no one that teaches this shit. There's always people that teach real estate. There's really no one that teaches business. And that's why I started doing these business masterminds, because no one teaches it. There's very few people that teach it.
So how does somebody buy their first business? Let's say you got, what would you need? How much money do you feel you would need to buy a business?
I teach people how to do it for nothing. I teach people how to do it for nothing.
Okay.
But I mean, that's not 100% realistic all the time, but there are ways to do it. But I would say worst case scenario, you put up 10% of the money and buy the business, right? So most of the businesses I teach you how to buy, I teach you all kinds of dozens of different creative ways to do it. Obviously, there's always a big owner finance component, but then there's other types of finance components. But the biggest thing that if you just want to buy a good business and put up 10% of the money or less, an SBA program right now will loan you 90% on any business. You have to have a 680 credit score. But if you have a 680 credit score, and at least you really only need to have 5% down, but 10% down is what, is probably what you really should have. So if you buy $1 million business, you might need 50 to 100,000 bucks. And you can probably borrow that money from friends or borrow that money, from investors and
right.
Part of the company away or something like that. Or you could, sell a piece of property and get the down payment or whatever. But I actually made a whole bunch of YouTube videos on different businesses I bought that make, 6 figures plus every single year that I bought with no money, $0. And I'm making 100, 200,000 a year on these businesses. And I use no money to buy them. And I break down how I do it in some of my videos, but there's so many different techniques. There's so many different ways to do it.
Gotcha. Awesome. So, I mean, let's start with the first one. Let's say there's me. I've got $100,000. How do I find a business? Where do I go? What do I do?
Yeah, so that's a long conversation. We're not gonna have time for the whole thing. But what I could tell you
Quick
is
intro.
that just real estate. There's two ways to buy businesses. You can buy them off market and on market. And on market, there's different websites. Probably the most popular one is called bizbuysell.com. And you go on there and you look for businesses. 95% of the businesses on there are shit. They don't really have the right numbers. But you start talking to the owners. You start talking to the brokers that are listing them. And you get the P&Ls, you look through it, you see if they make sense, you have questions on the stuff that looks shady, and you just figure out a fair price. So I'll teach you how to underwrite it to tell you if it's a good deal. But what I'll say is most businesses that we're buying, businesses that are making the type of money we're talking, 6 figures, sell for somewhere between 2 and 4 times what they make in a year. So if a business profits $200,000 a year in profit, they sell for on average 3 times what they sell for. So a business making 200,000 is going to sell for like 600,000 bucks. And now you got to figure out how you're going to come up with 600,000. And then that's all in the creative structuring part. But that's how you value a business. And then you got to go through the P&Ls. You got to make sure you understand everything. Make sure that all the numbers look correct. How to tell red flags. How to negotiate based on that. You got to. One really important thing that I only buy businesses that have managers and staff in place. If the owner runs the business and they're selling it, and when they sell it, they're going to be gone.
Done.
There's no manager. To me, that business is almost worthless unless it's a bolt-on where you're just adding it to an existing business you already have. But if it's a new business you've never run before, it becomes a lot less valuable. So I also teach you when you want to sell your business, how to make your business worth so much more. There's a few things you can do to make your business worth so much more to sell it. So, we go through all that as well.
It.
And then how to hire people, what's important to have at different stages. All that's covered.
I gotcha. I love it. So
off market properties, right? So we just talk about on market. Off market, 80% of the businesses I buy are off market. So you could buy off market property businesses a lot of different ways. My best way that I get the most is letters, but I have really, really unique letters. My letters, I came up with a system, it doesn't even exist. They actually look, I do 100 things to letters that nobody does. So almost every letter I send out gets opened. But if I'm trying to buy a plumbing company, my letter will look a toilet or some toilet paper. If I'm trying to buy an electric company, they'll look at battery or electric socket. If I'm trying to I bought a lot of gyms, right? I have a lot of gyms. They look at barbell or something that's in a gym. So they're shaped that way. When you open it, it's shaped that way. So everyone's going to open it because it looks super curious. And then, I spray in with different things. If I want it to smell, a certain business, I'll spray, roses on it or Lysol or whatever I want it to smell, food, or there's all different types of scents that you could buy, hundreds of scents, and you can make your letter smell however you want. I do crazy things on the outside. I put different types of stickers. I sometimes I do a wax seal on the back instead of licking it, or I'll put different types of seals on them. Instead of mailing them with a boring stamp, I'll put 5 different stamps or a really cool stamp that no one's ever seen before. And you just got to catch people's thing. But there's about 100 different, there's probably 3-4 dozen different things I do that nobody does. There's different things you can do with the letters, different shapes and sizes and thicknesses, and different things you can put in the letter, different things that you write on the letter. So there are different, confidential, save this in a safe place. All these different things you can do that make people call you and say. But letters is one thing. LinkedIn is really good for business. There's all different types of Facebook groups out there. There's
cool.
We could go on, but attorneys and
I gotcha.
Yeah.
No, people will hit you up for that type of stuff, right? I want to be promoting your stuff at the very end of this. I just don't want to go over time because I don't know if you have other stuff to do after this. So I want to respect your time. There's one question I always ask at the very end of this podcast, that I always love. I think it's my favorite question is, if you could go back to either 15-year-old you or when you bought your first real estate deal or whatever it is, knowing everything you know now, what would you tell? I have a 15-year-old one. What would you tell the 15-year-old version of you, knowing everything that you know now?
So this is going to be a crazy answer. So, and I got this, I started answering it this way since I watched Back to the Future with Michael J. Fox. So,
okay.
My life is so good and everything goes smooth. And I made a lot of mistakes. I lost a lot. I did all kinds of stuff. But every single thing that I've ever done that went bad, I lost a lot of money or I got in trouble or whatever it was, if that stuff didn't happen to me, I might have made bigger mistakes or gotten in bigger trouble later on, because I learned from all those mistakes that I made younger, and I made less and less of those stupid mistakes. So since I watched Back to the Future and Michael J. Fox went back and started pushing his dad out of the way, or different people out of the way to save him, what happened was it solved those problems, but then there were a lot bigger problems that happened later on because they fixed that problem, and now there was other problems and stuff got really worse. I don't know if you ever watched that movie, but so since I watched it, you know what? I actually, at this point, I wouldn't change anything, because anything I changed that would have helped me might have actually hurt me, because I would have made bigger mistakes than those smaller mistakes in the beginning. So that's kind of the honest truth. But, I could get more deeper into that, or I could tell you something specific I would change. But in theory, I probably wouldn't, because I wouldn't have learned my lesson from that mistake.
No, I love it. I think that's the best answer. Some people give that answer, and I think that's the best one, is nothing, because you're here now. I mean, right? Whatever you are, wherever you are now, you're here, and life's pretty damn good. So who knows what would have happened if you changed anything, right?
Yeah.
So my man, I appreciate you so much for coming on this podcast. That was super enlightening about businesses, about partnerships, all of that. So what can my community do for you, the regular viewers of Skorch The Fears? What do you want to...
Yeah, I was gonna say, don't be fearful. Just reach out.
For sure. But what are you looking? What do you want? It sounds you want more deals. Is there anywhere you want deals? Is there something else someone can give you? What are you looking for right now?
I'm always looking for more deals. I actually went to an event a year ago, and I was talking to Pace, and Pace was, all right, I'm gonna go around the room, ask everybody what they want, what they need, what they want, what they need. And I was the only thing I want more deals. I want more deals. And then we started doing a lot more deals together because of that. But yeah, I mean, more deals. I mean, that's really what
area for the deals.
Yeah, I mean, I don't care what the deal is. I don't care if you need like transactional funding, you have properties to sell, you want to buy stuff. I mean, I sell stuff, I buy stuff. It's just fun. But yeah, any that's
so just send it anywhere in the US, just as long as the ARV percentages make sense.
So I only buy cash deals. I buy cash deals only in the Atlanta markets, an hour of Atlanta. I buy cash, but creative deals everywhere.
Gotcha. Cool, my man. Well, I appreciate.
The other thing I want from everybody is I want everybody to follow me on definitely YouTube, subscribe, watch some of my videos. That's what I'm trying to do.
Just your name?
So it's just my name, Abraham Gray. That's my biggest thing that I'm trying to do, and I want to see if I was talking to Pace, and Pace is growing at exponential. I told Pace my goal is to get to where I could stay at 10% of what he's at. So whatever number he's at, I want to get to 10%. If I can get to 10%. That would be amazing. He's like, you're going to get way past 10%. Dude, you're growing fucking fat no matter how much you grow.
You've got a pretty unique sales pitch, though.
Yeah.
You're right. I don't know anyone who's talking about buying businesses on YouTube. I think you've got a niche where you could explode even more than Pace, because Pace's thing is creative financing with real estate, which is really niche. While buying businesses, I feel there's I think there's a bigger market for it, to be honest.
Nobody knows about it, though. It's people don't know about it, so it's not... it's a smaller niche because nobody knows about it. So
is your Instagram your name too? I think it is, right?
It's Abraham Gray Official.
Cool. All right. I'm just making sure. Guys, follow him. Get stuff. Follow him on Instagram. Follow him on YouTube. If you've got deals, send it to him on his Instagram. People can send you deals on Instagram.
Yeah, I'm more of a Facebook person, but email.
Okay, or message him on Facebook.
Email is where I want all the deals sent. So my email.
What's your email?
It's Abraham, my name, and then and then it's MMA Mixed Martial Arts and ATL Atlanta.com. So Abraham at MMAATL.com. I have a bunch of gyms. I used to fight a little bit amateur, so that's why I have MMA ATL.
Nice. I do jiu-jitsu. I'm a white belt, so I'm not great. But
I'll fucking smash you. I've been doing jiu-jitsu for over 11 years.
Yeah, I believe it. That MMA ATL?
Yeah.
Awesome. Cool, my man. I appreciate you. This has been super fun. I learned a lot. Is there any last words for the audience? Anything like that?
No. Everyone should get into jiu-jitsu, though. How do you like jiu-jitsu?
I love it so much. I mean, I've done boxing and I've done other martial arts throughout my entire life, but jiu-jitsu, what I love about jiu-jitsu is I can go all out, and you can't go all out in boxing ever, really. Yeah, Otherwise, you're hurting people. You can't do that. Jiu-jitsu, you can actually go as hard as you can. And then you're
people better than you, and how hard you go against them, it's nothing. Doesn't matter.
Right. So the first time I went against a black belt, I was wow. I went against a black belt who was I think she was a 120-pound girl, and I'm wow. I can't believe how bad I am.
It's crazy,
like,
yes.
Holy Jesus.
So if you keep doing jiu-jitsu, man, you're gonna have the best friends. You're gonna be always healthy, feel good about yourself. Sweat. So yeah, it's the best environment. It's great to do.
I love it. It's cool time.
Don't be fearful to start jiu-jitsu. It's worth doing.
Don't be fearful of anything, guys. That's why we're here. It's Skorch The Fears. Abraham, my man, any last words for the audience before I end this out?
Yeah, I just want to say, anyone that's got to the end of this and watched the whole thing, holy shit, you guys rock. That was pretty long. So hope you learned something. Hope you enjoyed it. And I can't wait to work with you guys, do some deals with you in the future.
100%, man. I appreciate you. I'm gonna be sending you some deals that I might want to partner up with you on some stuff too. So
Awesome.
we're gonna 100% make it happen, guys. That's Skorch The Fears. Next week we've got Marco Rivera talking about social media. I appreciate all of you guys so much. Abraham, thank you again. Let's freaking go.